Hello, I'm going to exemplify how to visualize a data set from Digital Rocks portal in Paraview. Now, in this particular sketch, I'm going to download the image to my own computer where I have Paraview loaded, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm at one of the Digital Rocks projects. It's called Uniform Quartz Silver Nanoparticle Injection. And I'm going to go to the so this is the main website of the project. In this dataset tree, I'm going to pick the very basic origin data. That is before any nanoparticles are injected. We just have a geometry of quartz sand, and you can visualize that quartz geometry by simply viewing the GIF, and this is statically made movie that moves through 450 slices in this image. Now you can actually see the basic information about this image, 350 by 450, that is cited under the image itself, and I'm going to download this image to my computer. Now I actually have it already downloaded. It's in my downloads, so here I would save, but I'm just going to briefly cancel and open Paraview so that I can actually interact with this image as opposed to viewing a static movie. So I'm going to select open. This is a raw binary file. So I have to select that option as a type. So it's essentially binary data without a proper format, so I'm going to have to tell Paraview all of the details of how to load it. So here it is, and I'm going to click OK. I have to confirm again that this is raw binary file, and before I can actually correctly read this data, I have to enter the information. From Digital Rocks portal, I actually know that this is 16-bit unsigned integer data. Unsigned integer, 16-bit unsigned integer is same as short. It's big endian, that refers to the byte order in which I have to read each 2 bytes that represent a number. And then we have data extent, since dimensions are 350, 350, and 450. Data extent is 0 through 349, 0 to 349, and 0 to 449. And my scalar array is going to be called image file. If you want to call it something else, you can. And I'm just going to hit apply. Now what you see loaded here is simply, where's that selection? Just a moment, and outline. Representation is an outline, so that's all what you see. If I actually put 3D glyphs are not going to be informative in this case, so I'm not going to use it. Glyphs are useful, for instance, velocity or vector type of representation, where I have to have vector data. I could do point, slide, surface. So if I just pick volume, for instance, I'm gonna see sort of a volume, and I can see the range of data by adding a color bar to it, and I can see that most of the data is actually in this range up to 8,000 or so. So I'm seeing mostly blues. The full data range is from minus 1100 to nearly 28,000, but obviously there is not that many points that are in this very high range because I can barely see it from the outside. I can also use surface. There's just slightly different flavor of this image, and I can also then do a contour, which will give me an actual surface between. So all of this is essentially volumetric information. If I want to strike a surface between these grains, I should actually figure out where this surface should be. So before I plot the surface, I'm going to actually look at my histogram, and histogram gives me the range of values. So for histogram information, I'm going to put the maximum number of bins and hit apply. And you will see this sort of like bimodal, so these are your grains, grain, pore space and grains, so sort of darker pore space and grains. So essentially, if I strike a surface somewhere around here, I can look at the histogram and explore it a little. I think I have this dip at 1600. So around 1600, I'm not going for very high precision here, but around 1600, I can actually see that I should have a good difference between what are pores and grains in this image. So I'm gonna try to find that. I'm gonna remove the histogram, remove it, and I'm going to go back to the data, and I'm going to pick contour, and instead of 1300, I'm going to say 1600 and hit apply. And I really don't know what happened now. Oh, okay. Well, here it is. The surface reappeared. And this is essentially a surface between different grains and pore spaces in this image. That is essentially it. Now I can do a bunch of things with it. I can, for instance, now just save this. So I can save this as a state. I can save a screenshot, and I'm just gonna select the defaults here and also put it in my downloads for now. Say screenshot. Okay, that is essentially it.